Pedro speaks about his own future and the managerial situation at Chelsea and actually mentions the Fulham boss Jokanovic. Antonio Conte reportedly rejects an offer by Real Madrid. There will be a winter break introduced to the Premier League from the 2019-2020 season onwards, and Chelsea are somehow linked to Paul Pogba from Manchester United. To find out about all of that and more in detail, make sure you watch the whole of today's transfer show. Hello there guys and welcome back to 100% Chelsea, to another episode of the Transfer Show. And this is the show where we'll give you all the latest news surrounding Chelsea Football Club. Whether that is manager news or player transfer news, you will find out about it on here. So if you haven't already, make sure you do subscribe to 100% Chelsea if you don't want to miss out on any of that. And also make sure you click the notification bell button and choose to be notified about all uploads. And yet again, have you absolutely smashed the like target on the last video? We aimed for 800 likes, but we got something like 1.1 or 1.2 thousand likes, which is absolutely amazing. But let's not aim for that. Let's stick with the 800 likes. So make sure you drop a like down below. We would massively appreciate it. So if you could get 800 likes, that would be amazing. And if you could reach anything over 1,000, that would obviously be absolutely incredible yet again. But now getting into the video and starting it off with the first story. And that is about Pedro giving a very interesting interview to a radio station in Tenerife, where Pedro is obviously from. And he was asked about his own future and the managerial situation. And he said that the players know full well that there might be some changes in the summer, that might be happening. And that the players are waiting to see what will happen. He also said that Jokanovic, the Fulham boss, is a great manager as he's one of many names that have been mentioned for the Chelsea job. Pedro said if a new manager does come in, we'll try to work the best way possible. On his own future, the Spaniard said, and I quote, "Obviously I have a contract at Chelsea and most likely I will stay. I'm good here," before going on to then saying that he's comfortable with his teammates and very happy to have won a league title and the FA Cup in a country where it's so difficult to win trophies. Now, I didn't listen to the interview myself, and to be honest, even if I did, it wouldn't have helped because I don't speak Spanish. Pedro was quoted to have said he when he supposedly meant Jokanovic, but I don't know if or why the Spanish radio station brought up Jokanovic, or if Pedro brought him up, or if any other names were mentioned. To be honest, I don't know. Either way, the fact that he will most likely stay, I'm not too happy about. I don't dislike Pedro, but I feel like he just doesn't bring that much to the team these days. His shooting and finishing is good, but in this past season we didn't see much of that either. And also he's getting on and will turn 31 before the start of the new season. So you kind of see what's happening here. At least I think I'm seeing what's happening here. He knows that no other club in Europe will pay him the wages he's getting at Chelsea at the moment. So he wants to stay at Chelsea and just see out his contract and make the most money possible. Maybe I'm just, being really harsh on him here, but that's just what footballers are like these days. Most of them anyway. I'd much rather see Pedro leave than Willian. And obviously there is constant talk about Willian joining United or just leaving Chelsea. You never know what's going to happen there. And I don't want both to leave just because I don't trust our board to sign two very good wingers, which we'd obviously need if we sell both of Willian and Pedro. But I just see Willian as a much better player these days than Pedro is, if I'm being honest. So, I would much rather keep Willian, playing with whoever we get. Maybe, possibly Leon Bailey or, whoever we get on the wing, because we'll probably sign a winger. And sell Pedro, because he's probably on quite a high wage. I'm not sure what exactly his wage is, but it won't be cheap. So, if we can, I'd say, try and sell Pedro. But obviously, if he wants to stick around, you can't really force him out. There's not much you can do. I mean, you could possibly force him out, but, he's not, being a dickhead or anything, so there's no reason to force him out, and that just wouldn't be really fair on him either, to be honest. We offered him the contract, he signed it, so if he wants to see it out, that's a more than acceptable thing to do. And now coming to the next story, and Louis touched on it slightly last night already, but reports have come out that Antonio Conte is Real Madrid's #1 target to be Zidane's successor at the club. And then those reports stated that Conte has turned down an offer by Real Madrid. Some reports say it's because he wants to respect his contract at Chelsea, and others say he turned them down because he doesn't think his coaching methods would work at Real Madrid. And the latter certainly makes more sense to me. I mean, how do you think the likes of Ronaldo, Toni Kroos, Isco, Asensio, Modric, Marcelo, and so many others big players that they have would react if their manager told them every week, no matter who they're facing, we have to suffer without the ball? I don't see any of them saying, yeah, boss, sounds like a great idea. I don't think Madrid fans would warm to that idea very much either. So I think that's way more likely to be the reason why Conte did turn him down, if he did turn him down, of course. I don't know whether the reports are obviously, true. Now, Chelsea would obviously be in favour of Conte taking that Real Madrid job, especially if he was to quit Chelsea for Madrid, but more realistically, because it would at least save us paying, the 1 year's wage that he's, that he has on his contract. We would still have to pay him a few million as compensation fee, but 9 times out of 10, when a manager takes a new job, his old club that have sacked him don't have to pay the wages he would have been earning if he hadn't been sacked anymore, because obviously he has a new club, so he's not entitled to his old wages anymore, basically. And before any of you come at me and saying, see, he rejected, Real Madrid because he's staying at Chelsea and he wants to stay at Chelsea and all sorts, No, I'm sorry. The reports that we're after Sarri and the reports that we're after Laurent Blanc aren't fake. The reports that we've agreed personal terms with both of them aren't fake either. Conte knows he's not going to stay. And like I've said multiple times before, I don't think that he wants to stay either. Of course, if he made that move to leave Chelsea rather than Chelsea sacking him, even if he doesn't quit, but just at least like try and approach other clubs, it could and would possibly affect the size of his severance package. And maybe he will take the Madrid job only after having been sacked by Chelsea, because his wages there certainly wouldn't be any less than they were at Chelsea, I wouldn't think. But he would still get, obviously the compensation fee, but maybe he wouldn't if he basically approached, Real Madrid and already accepted an offer by them before we have even sacked them. So maybe that plays into it as well. But who knows? Leave me your thoughts on the whole story down below, but I think it's a bit of a tricky one. One thing that I want to mention, even though it's not transfer news, is the fact that a small winter break will be introduced to the Premier League from the 2019 and 2020 season onwards. What it will do is give every Premier League club 1 weekend off in February. So it's not exactly a winter break, but I guess it kind of is. So while you have at least 13 days between two games, the clubs will either go on a training camp abroad where it's warmer for a week or so, or give the players a week or a few days off. But it's not like Germany where the players get like a good 2 weeks or more off, and then they still go on a 2 week or more training camp to like Doha or something. Also, there won't be a weekend in February without any Premier League, football, without any Premier League games. There will be 2 weekends with only 5 matches each, so 10 clubs will get 1 weekend off and the other 10 clubs will get the next weekend off, basically. Is that enough to make, a massive difference with, fitness towards the end of the season? Probably not, but it's better than nothing. And the festive periods around Christmas, which everyone, including myself, loves so much about English football, won't be affected at all. Another thing people have asked, obviously, with that coming out, is whether there will be more of a fixture congestion before or after that break. And the answer to that is a simple no, because the 5th round of the FA Cup will now be played midweek rather than on the weekend, and there won't be any replays in that 5th round like we had against Norwich this season, I'm pretty sure. Instead, if the score is a draw after 90 minutes, it will go to extra time and then to a penalty shootout. And while we're already talking about changes in the cup competitions, in the League Cup, the Carabao Cup, extra time will not be a thing anymore. With the exception of the final, the game will go straight to a penalty shootout if the game finishes with a draw after 90 minutes. And also this ABBA or ABBA penalty system has been scratched, and thank God for that. Quick thought on that, while I get that they want to reduce the minutes players have to play throughout the season, not having extra time makes the Carabao Cup, the League Cup, look like even more of a joke competition than it already does, in my opinion. Like the Community Shield almost, like actual football competition, that's worth something. You don't just like go through from, normal game time, normal 90 minutes to penalty shootout. Like, that's not what serious competitions do. I mean, maybe that's how football will change over the next few years. I doubt it, but right now it just makes it look like more of a joke competition in my opinion anyway, but I might be wrong. Leave me your thoughts on it. And then one last bit of news, well, it's not really news, it's just funny, because according to the Express, Paul Pogba has been offered to Chelsea as he wants to leave Manchester United this summer, while he was also offered to Barcelona and Real Madrid apparently. And I won't claim to know for a fact that that isn't true, that he hasn't been offered to Chelsea, but as good as he is, there is no chance we would pay the money Manchester United would ask for him, and the chance of him joining us and be willing to join us when we're in the Europa League, when he could also go to Barcelona or Real Madrid, or just stay at Manchester United, who are in the Champions League as well, of course, are even smaller. So the whole story, I can't lie, just made me giggle, to be honest. Sorry guys, we're not signing Paul Pogba, but I find it quite funny how, a newspaper like the Express just come up with that. Yeah, Chelsea in for Paul Pogba, or Paul Pogba offered to Chelsea. Like, I mean, come on. And before I finish this video off, Louis asked you guys to leave well thought through arguments and debates in the comment section of his stream last night, and 2 of you that I could see did. Lund Banzi or Bansi and Richie Jeji, I really hope I didn't butcher your name, I'm sorry if I did leave comments like that. But sadly for you two, I completely agree with basically everything, that both of you said, if I remember your comments correctly. So don't really have much to add to it. But, thank you guys for your comments. Anyway, though, that is it from me. Leave me all of your thoughts on everything that I've mentioned today. On the whole Pedro story, what he said about Jokanovic and his own future, on Antontio Conte rejecting Real Madrid apparently, the whole obviously Premier League winter break, what you make of that, and the Carabao Cup changes, and also the Paul Pogba story. If you have anything to add to that, leave it down in the comment section below. Leave a like if you did enjoy this video. Obviously, like I said in the beginning, let's aim for 800 likes. If we could hit that, that would be amazing. And also don't forget to check out my social media, which is last 1507 on both Instagram and Twitter, as you can see over here, and the links will also be down in the description, so you can just click that and head over there and follow me. I would massively appreciate that. And if you're new, make sure you subscribe to 100% Chelsea, and also click the notification bell button if you haven't already, and choose to be notified about all uploads, because otherwise you'll just miss some of our videos, and what's the point of subscribing to the channel if you're gonna miss half of their videos, because YouTube is being a bit weird. Anyway, thank you guys for watching, up the Chelsea, and I'll see you next time.